What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. This might be episode 4. Welcome back, King Renaissance Talents. I am going to go over a few little tips and exercises for jiu-jitsu. Okay, so I want to go over more things with jiu-jitsu, maybe in another video, but today I'm just going to focus on just some exercises that you can work on if you're into self-defense or wanting to get into a particular style of martial arts. I'm trying to share a little bit of my mixed martial arts experience, okay, and some tips to share if you want to, I don't know, just kind of be curious about it or try it yourself, or maybe it can motivate you to want to join different types of classes that has different styles for mixed martial arts. So I'm gonna go over a few things, and then I'm going to explain a little bit why some of these exercises and tips are helpful and useful for jiu-jitsu. Okay, so let's go over some exercises. See what I like to do. Okay, so jiu-jitsu, a lot of groundwork. A lot of times you're already up here, kind of like this. You're kind of move this motion like this, okay? Motion like this. Okay, I think I might have explained this before in my other video. This is how you just trying to grab their head, trying to grab their arms, shoulders, trying to get them to, trying to pull them in, okay? And you're trying to get under their legs somehow, kind of wrap around their waist and their body to get them down to the ground. Because in jiu-jitsu, now, if you're looking at jiu-jitsu from a standpoint of like professional sport aspect, then you're trying to get them to the ground and you're trying to get a count, okay? Trying to get some type of count, okay, and to get your score in. But then, if you're just using these techniques in self-defense, then this, I would say, would be more so of something that you may feel you need to get this person down to the ground, or they're trying to get you down to the ground and you're trying to protect yourself and trying to find a way to not get hurt by being taken down to the ground. And so doing exercises with groundwork can help you kind of get comfortable with being that low down on the earth while you are defending yourself. Hopefully you're not offensive, being on the offensive as far as attacking people, unless you really need to. You can make the first move, then that's understandable. So anyhow, these are exercises that'll help you get comfortable with being on the ground, okay? And self-defending yourself or attacking. Okay, so, alright, so a few tips. I'm gonna do these leg walks, and more like knee walks. I'll show you. Okay, I'll do that again. So you're doing that, you can bring it back too. Okay. So no matter how smooth or tacky it can look, you just want to get in the flow of moving like that, because when you're like in that low position, you're moving certain ways where you're trying to like get out of the way of the person, right? You're constantly moving, right? Use your hands. You can use your hands to kind of guide yourself when you're on the floor, because these are techniques that you'll need when you're in a situation on the ground, on the floor. Now, granted, if you're on concrete or something like that, it may not be something that you want to do as far as sliding around like that. but there may be some type of movement that doesn't have you dragging your knees and your legs against the concrete, but it may have you be able to move within that motion, because there's quick ways to kind of get around certain ways that people are trying to get a hold of you, and you're able to kind of move from your knees and everything in your hands. You're hurrying to slip up. Those are cool movements. Okay, you can even go to the side. When this is a motion right here, where you just kind of use your left foot here, kind of get in there. It's just certain movements that once you're getting used to moving your body around like that, you'd be surprised how natural, secondhand nature that will come in handy being in a situation low to the ground. Okay, so there's a lot of different techniques that you will learn as far as jiu-jitsu. Now when you're just practicing it by yourself, exercises, that's why I'm kind of going over exercises versus like other more combat tips, because I would need a partner for it to make more sense. And I'll probably still try to figure out a way to show you some things as far as combat, but these are still movements and exercises that really helps for when you are doing groundwork. Okay, and wrestling and jiu-jitsu are very related, very, very closely related. So being on the ground, these are different moves you can work on too when it comes to wrestling. Okay, all right, but anyhow, let's go over some rolls. Okay, these are things that are another thing that's very helpful. So jiu-jitsu, okay, you can get used to your motions of front rolls. Okay, and you want to kind of get used to that. You want to get used to those. Okay, so just getting into that motion, but there are certain slips that slips are just pockets where you are finding a way to get out of a particular type of hold that someone has on you. And so where someone may have you a certain way, have their arms around you, something like that, or maybe they may have a more control on one side of you, and then what will be a slip is if they have you on one side, then you can use your other shoulder to kind of dip and you get up out of it like that. Okay, so those are slips. And if they're on your side over here, maybe they really have you on this side, and then you want to slip right here, and you're slipping out of that pocket right there. There's a pocket right there where I don't want to hit that. Okay, you're getting up out of there. And when you slip like that, you want to be able to make sure you get right back up so you can see where they're at. You want to get back into grabbing them a certain way so that you can, take advantage of the control that you need, getting out of the position where they were in control. So keep that in mind. So those are slips. Again, I can show you again. Okay. And right here. Okay. You just see how I get right back up, and you're looking for them. You want to be able to, see where they're at and get out of that situation. Or maybe it's not so important to go right back into attack mode. Maybe it's more important to get up out of the situation and keep your distance. So either way, you're getting out of that position with you being in less control, and to get out of it to be back into control. So those are a couple of slips. Here's another move I like to do a lot when I'm getting ready to kind of get my sort of exercises going for the day. I like to, now those slips, all right, okay, those slips, this is kind of a reverse way, and this is just a motion that I like to keep myself comfortable with. That there is a there's a sense of gravity that you have to have when you are spinning, right? Okay, and when you are doing certain spins and rolls and things like that, no matter how you mix it up, it gives you a better sense of gravity when the room is spinning, when you're moving your body like that. So I like mixing it up, and here's one of the rolls that I like to do. And I'll do it from two different point of views. So here's one point of view. Now, this is kind of a form of a slip because you'll see it when I do it. Okay, so I kind of went diagonal, and then that's what I do a lot. I'll just keep, and it's on my left, then my right foot. All right, now I'll show you this way. Here. You see that? So just you wanting to move around like that, those are different exercises that you can do. Just moving, you're rolling, you're finding different slips, and it'll make sense again. It makes sense when you are learning certain combat techniques and drills, certain moves that you can use when you are against an opponent. And those movements, those slips, really come in handy. The way that I was sliding with my my knees across the floor, those are ways that you're walking in a situation where if you're down on the ground and you're really in a tussle, your knees is kind of like your feet, okay? And again, making sure that you're not on concrete or you're not harming your legs and your knees on a hard surface, but that motion still is going to help you kind of move in that way low on the floor, where when you are having someone hold you or you're holding someone, you're able to kind of have that strong leg to kind of like move in certain ways. You know what I'm saying? You're moving in certain ways. These are techniques like this. You can do this too, and you see how my hands are here. I'm basically having this formation because of how you're holding people when you are within this type of tussle. There's just certain different movements that are happening when you are trying to get out. Whether you're trying to get out of the situation, whether you're trying to take control of the situation, okay? You are constantly moving in many different ways that may not be exactly how you practice it through exercises, but the motions will be very useful, okay? And it'll get you comfortable with like moving like that on ground level. So just a few tips. Hopefully that was helpful, and may be exciting for you to get into mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu, and things like that. That was kind of fun. Like I said, I usually do some of those, and then a few I've done before, but I just had to remember some of them just to share them with you guys. I've taken some jiu-jitsu classes a few times before. There's a lot more that I can share and try to remember that I have learned, and it'll be kind of exciting to start taking some more mixed martial art classes so I can get back into some better tips and drills and different techniques and styles, and then share more with you guys if you want to tune in. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm probably gonna go inside and do just a little bit more of some kicking on the punching bag, kickback, and and then finish out my workout that I'm almost done with. But till next time, thanks for tuning in. Let's see. Check me out on King Renaissance TV, okay, and King Renaissance, where I do my social therapy, things like that. I'm sure either the links are below in the video, or you can just go check it out. Also, Instagram and TikTok, I am on those platforms as well, as far as King Renaissance Talents. So you can go check that out if you like. And a lot more talents to come. I know I keep saying it. I definitely want to get into hosting every week. That's a far stretch. As far as like my one channel, King Renaissance, I do my social therapy. I'm posting once a week there for the most part. Okay, and so I definitely want to get to doing that with my other two channels. So that way, when I'm doing it every week, then I can fit in a lot more things, because I have all these talents that I want to share and I haven't gotten to it and things like that. So we're getting there. All right, so thanks for always hanging, being a part of my journey, and talk to you later. All right, King Renaissance.